Hello everybody, I will turn around close here in a minute, but I just thought I'd give you a quick overview of my craft room. I've had a big tidy up and just thought I will show you around. So this is my craft desk. As you can see, I use tonic a lot in my products, so I've got a tonic craft mat. Glass cutting mat. I use a glass cutting mat, not a self-healing one, because I do some inking and I just really prefer glass cutting mat to self-healing. As you can see, I stick my vinyl on it as well, which I will need to take that off. Okay, then down here I have my gemstones, which I always use Hunkydory gemstones. I have my weighing scales for when I weigh the products to send to you. My ink. I also have cake toppers, sticks down there. Might mix and match of everything. Over here I have my Nouveau drops. I need to get a new container because I've got so many now. My stamp cleaner. And then up here I have all my tools that I use daily. Lots and lots of scissors, as you can see, but my favourite pair is the Tim Holtz scissors. My picks to get my vinyl off, my scoring tools, my craft knives. At the moment I'm using a tonic craft knife, my tonic mousses and my embossing powders, my little handmade buy stamp. As you can see, this is from Cricut. I like that one. And then over here I have my pens, and my pens of choice are Pro markers, my Nouveau pens, my Cricut pens, my bits and everything, my odds and bods that I always use, my roller to roll my paper stock on, paracetamol always needed, water brush, my spatula, and these are my glues I always use, my tapes. So the glues I use are either a Nouveau glue, bookbinding glue by Pinflair, or I use the construction glue by Hunkydory. Always Pritt stick might come in handy. My tweezers from Tonic, and then under here is my foam pads. I use a mixture of Hunkydory foam pads and Tonic foam pads. My notebook, always handy to write notes. Coffee cup, run off coffee, even though I'm only having one a day, and then mostly stick to peppermint tea now. Some spare bits and spare glues, you never want to run out. My most used dyes, my most used paints, my stamping platform and cleaner, hair ties in case I need to tie my hair up. My little iron on that I use when it's a small product, so it irons my vinyl on. This is an Amazon Basics one. I love it. It's easy to use. It was when I first started. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it if I wasn't gonna sell anything. Okay, and then I move over. This one over here is my printing cupboard. So all my cupboards come from Amazon. I've got my sublimation paper for my sublimation printer, which I converted in Epson. Ooh, look, I need to dust. I use A-sub paper. The small ones in the box is for my mugs, and the A4 is for coasters. At the moment I just do coasters and mug sublimation and baubles. My sticker paper, my printing paper. I use Town Sticks for my stickers. I use a navigator paper for receipts, and I got printable vinyl, which I use Hunkydory. Now here is where I put my greeting card paper. This is the best company. I always used to find that printing greeting cards was really difficult for me because it never used to be the best quality. So I found a company on Amazon, my best friend, called Photo paperdirect.com. My god, it's the best quality paper. So I have A4 in different weights, 170 GSM, 250 GSM, and the bad boy of 300. I have pre-scored card blanks that I've also used for when I print my cards straight out. I'm trying to like line them up on my printer. The printer of my choice is my Epson Eco Tank. I've only had to change the ink in this twice in 5 years, and I do a lot of printing. Down here I have my handy cutters. I use a Hunkydory guillotine, Hunkydory paper trimmer, which I need to get some new blades, my heat tool for when I emboss, that is a Debbie Moore one, and my Hunkydory glue gun for when I do my cake toppers. Some spare glue down there. Some of my packaging. So I get all my packaging on Amazon, and which I love. So there's that cupboard sorted out. And then up here I have my mug press. I use a Cricut mug press. It's my favourite. So this is a mug I did the other day. As you can see, I have my husband's name on it. I don't ever send mine off to POD companies. I have nothing against it. I just haven't got the resources, money to send off samples yet. So I do everything in-house. So not sure about the pattern on that, but it's a prototype. Prototypes are good. And this is my big bad boy heat press. It's the Cricut heat press with the Cricut mat. I only use this for big thing when I do tote bags, or I don't do t-shirts, tote bags, big wine bags and everything. Here are some of my mugs. I am waiting to see if I like enough to put on my store. I've got a Diwali mug here with some photos. Got a little Santa one, a Christmas train, and a Pug Happy Halloween mug. Up here are my mugs, my sublimation mugs. I get them from Amazon. Some spare card blanks. I use Craft UK. And in this, my Cricut mugs, Cricut mats, I use magnets on my metal doors. And in this cabinet is when I need to get some more storage things. So up here I have my Tonic Studios craft box I get each month. They're all in their little ring binders they come in. I'm beginning to start stickering them, keep them in order. This is all the instruction manuals or some inspiration if I need them. Keep them here. Embossing folders, so these ones come with the Tonic craft kits. I have Hunkydory, some stamps that come with the set. I need to find which set they come from. And some Tonic embossing folders. These embossing folders here are a range of either Crafter's Companion or Hunkydory. So the blue ones are Crafter's Companion, the purple ones are Hunkydory. I have my dies. I'm not a massive die cutter. I have my so I'm starting to try and do different things. So these are all Hunkydory ones. These match up with little books. And this is one of the first big things I bought when I started crafting in 2012. It's the Sizzix Big Shot die cutting machine. These are still the same plates. They're still going strong. They're a bit dirty, but hey ho, it's well loved. My husband bought me this before we even got married. Down here's my cardstock. So in these little things I have silver, gold and multicoloured mirror cards. My mirror cards is mostly all Hunkydory in here. This is some more multicoloured. They're a mixture of Hunkydory and Tonic Craft Perfect. My little mirror mats for the little books. They're all Hunkydory mirror cards. Down here's my textured cardstock. This is my adorable scoreable. This one I use for card blanks. They don't crack or crease when you score it. I score these before I put my Cricut card toppers on it. Textured cardstock. All of these are from Tonic Craft Perfect. Glitter cardstock is a mixture of Tonic and Diamond Sparkles, which is a Hunkydory brand. And down here, excuse me, is my pattern cardstock. All of this is Hunkydory. This is a mixture of Christmas and everyday card patterned. I'm not going to show you all, but you can see got a lot. This is my patterns, more papers, pattern papers and inserts for my cards. They're all Hunkydory. And this is my acetate and vellum, which again is all Hunkydory, mostly Christmas. Snowfall acetate is the bomb, love it. And the vellum, printed vellum, is from Hunkydory as well. Let me close this up. Okay, in here I have no idea how I'm going to I want to reorganize my craft room. So this is all my finished prototypes, 3D ones in a baskets. As you can see, I have a lot of 3D stuff. None of these will be going sent out because they're not stored properly. These are just my prototypes ready to show, and I send these off to my mum, and she will either send them to a childminder for the kids to play with if they're got okay to be played with or nothing rude or something on it. Or so yeah, you can see got my Diwali designs coming along nicely for this year. Crackers, little Easter baskets that I did that are too nice to throw away. Christmas gift bags coming, my 3D cards which my mum's gonna have when I send my next box down for her. So in here is all my finished things. These ones are going out ready to be sold, as you can see, because they're nicely put away in little categories. I got these from Amazon. I don't like using plastic to keep them things, so they're still all very nice, all put away nicely ready to be sent. And these is all the cards. Oh my lord, as you can see I've got loads. So I do them in sizes 5x7, A6, 5x5, 7x7, 6x6, a mixture, DL, A5, the big boys 8x8. They're ready to be sold. I am thinking about wrapping them up in tissue paper, putting a sticker with what the card looks like on the front so they keep nicely. I really don't want to go back into plastic pockets because I got some complaints when I did on Etsy saying that I was destroying the planet. So I don't know. My envelopes ready in a nice basket. I got this basket from Amazon. Gift boxes for 3D decoupage cards. My envelopes ready for Santa envelopes. Got this from Sainsbury's. Little plastic things with ribbon for crackers. Down here's my packing station. Tissue paper to wrap them up. Tape to put around the boxes and jiffy bags. Ribbon to tie everything up nicely. And there's the plastic. I'm not throwing them away. I'm just thinking how I'm going to do it. This doesn't close. The only thing with this is the boxes don't let you close your cabinet. So luckily, I don't need it. Right, up here, I've got my little books from Hunkydory. Oh my lord, I've got so many. Little tags, tag pads, my masks. I absolutely love it. Hunkydory is a company I love. In here, I have ring binders full of Hunkydory paper crafting kits. Really nicely in little poly pockets. Some more. So I have a lot of Hunkydory kits. Magazines that I get delivered once a month from Hunkydory. And these are bigger than A4, these ones don't fit in a foot, but I've stored them nicely up, so they should still be alright. In here's my card blanks. I use a mixture of UK Craft card blanks, Cricut watercolour card blanks, Crafter's Companion card blanks, and Anita's from Do Crafts card blanks. I also sometimes make my own on Cricut machine. Under here is some more paper crafting card kits. So I've got some Perfect Verses from Hunkydory, some 8x8 paper pads from Hunkydory, all of these are Hunkydory, and my Craft Perfect from Tonic Studios I have in there. The bottom one is an empty drawer, which I'm going to use for more storing of some stuff. So as you can see, I have a Hanukkah 2025 money wallet and a Happy Diwali money wallet, which are ready, and then a little basket which I could do for other celebrations with different coloured paper. In here I have all my little blanks. So I have my bauble blanks, my cake topper blanks in there, my coasters, sublimation coasters, sublimation baubles, my Hessian bags all ready to go. My favourite machine in the whole world, my Cricut, with its tools here ready to be used. My pens that I use all the time that need to be by my machine. And my little label printing machine. I got this from Amazon. Here's my favourites. This is a Jardines machine, I believe. I do all my labels on it for posting. It saves me so much money on labels. And then in here is my Cricut stuff. So I have in here my Santa sacks, my ribbon ready for baubles, my foils. Now the foils I use are either Cricut or Make, but sometimes they're not in stock, and I foil all my crackers. So the foil I use is from Amazon. I think it's an Amazon Basics one, and it's so good. They're in little rectangles and they're perfect just for names without having to cut yourself into a big 12 by 12. My cardstock is in here. I use Vanison Creative cardstock or Craft Perfect 12 by 12 papers. I also use Highlight Crafts 12 by 12. So they're in these little boxes. This is all my heat transfer vinyl, mixture of glitter. They're all Teckwrap. The same with the non-heat transfer vinyl. And these are my used ones that I've already cut up or came in rolls in this box. They're all Teckwrap. My 12 by 12 sheets that aren't rolled up, I need to figure a solution for storage for these, but these are mostly Teckwrap. Again, Teckwrap low tack transfer tape, sublimation ink paper. I got those from Amazon Basics, and strong transfer tape, all in here. So that is pretty much my craft room. It was a mess before. Oh, and these are the ones I needed to photograph ready to go. So I'll give you a sneak peek of some of the things I made. So as you can see, I'm very much a religious occasion store. Some baubles, some gift tag, which isn't religious. Happy birthdays too. Little sweet wrapper, a birthday bauble, an 18th birthday card, ooh, a bauble here. My husband's called Craig. So some not Halloween, Hanukkah stickers, a Diwali bauble, some Christmas cards. So these are Hunkydory. Look how beautiful they shine. I love these. Some birthday cards. Good luck in your new job. And a 3D Christmas card. So now the main purpose of this was to actually, while I talk to you about my condition, like I said I would, I'm going to do some colouring. This colouring is by Printsbymilly. I printed it on that really beautiful cardstock I was telling you, and I'm going to use some of my colours to show you. So now I'm going to do some yellow. I'm not the best colourer. My Nouveau pens I'm going to use. These are from Tonic. I got these from the craft kits. You don't always get colours in your craft kit. You get a mixture. And I'm going to use my old Pro markers. Do you know what? I bought these in 2012. They're still going strong. I'm going to get an orange for its beak. This is orange. Bright orange. Yep. I'm going to get some blue for the water. Wild iris. No, just a little bit. Blueprint. And then maybe that's maybe a little red cheeks, maybe some little red, oh, little pink cheeks, little pink cheeks. Okay, so let's have a little chat. So as I said before in my other videos, can I just apologise that every other video you watch, they're probably all really like low, well put together. They have little jingles, they have they're paused and stopped and all put together. I'm not at that level yet. I don't want to pay for a video editing software until I know people are actually going to watch this, because yeah, because if they're not going to start watching, then I'm not going to pay yet for one, if I'm being brutally honest. So I thought I will just, so it's really badly put together, I know, and I apologise for that. Anyway, what was I saying? So I was telling you in my last video that I have some health conditions, and that's why I started PezzyWezziesPrezzies, or started to do it full time. PezzyWezziesPrezzies, I have been making cards since 2011, if I remember correctly, roughly about then. I was watching a shopping channel called QVC in the UK. I think QVC are also in America, in Germany, I believe. I think they're in other places. And I saw a card making kit by a lady called Dawn Bibby. And I said to Craig, oh, that looks quite, Craig's my husband, by the way. I said to Craig, oh, that looks rather nice. I might have a go at that. So I ordered one. It was a Kanban kit, not Hunkydory, a Christmas one. It was in the Christmas sale. We just had Christmas. And my love went from there. So I used up that kit, and then I saw another TV channel called Create and Craft on Idle World. They're not around anymore. They went bust last year. And it was a Christmas set in June. I love Christmas. Christmas is my favourite time of year. I love making stuff for Christmas. I make Christmas stuff all year round. Anyway, so I bought it, and my love for Hunkydory grew and grew from there. They do the most beautiful Christmas kit every year. All of those are in binders that are mostly Christmas. I left loads when I moved here with my mum of everyday stuff, because I mostly sell Christmas. So that was my love for crafting, and I know you guys do beautiful illustrations on Photoshop. I'm trying. I can design stuff on Photoshop. I did my brother's wedding invites on Photoshop, and I always used to do like making like icons and stuff and signatures and stuff when I was young, like a teenager, on Photoshop and Paint Shop Pro, of like favourite music artists and footballers, etc. But I'm not as clever as some of you. So, like this one by Printsbymilly, this beautiful ducky. I could never draw something like that. So I apologise for all your artists out there for doing all my work using other brands to make cards. But I put them together myself. Anyway, I'm digressing. I do that a lot. Anyway, when I was a teenager, very early teenager. Oh, and I'm going to, by the way, I might be talking about womanly functions in this part now. So if you're a little bit, well, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm just giving you a warning. So when I was 14, actually I might have been 13, I started having the most horrific periods in the whole world. Think bleeding a peach stone, big clots. Anyway, my mum took me to the doctor, and I had a scan done, and they diagnosed me with polycystic ovaries. So they put me on the contraceptive pill. didn't really do much, if I'm being honest. It made them a bit lighter, but anyway. Well, that's looking quite nice, if I do say so myself. So then I started getting these rashes down below, and I went to the GP again, this time with my boyfriend. I was about 15, 16. My boyfriend, who is now my husband, and they said, oh, you're allergic to sanitary towels, sanitary products. We suggest you buy cotton ones, like 100% cotton, or bamboo ones. So we went to a really expensive chemist in our local shopping centre. Didn't make a difference. And these boils started turning into abscesses right on my knicker line. Let's put that nicely. And I kept going to the GP, and they said, no, you're just having an allergic reaction. Take some paracetamol, it will all be fine. So I kept listening, kept taking my paracetamol. Nothing worked. And this went on for years. And when I say years, I mean this started off when I was 15, 16, getting these boils, these abscesses. And I only got a diagnosis of what it was in my mid to late 30s. So I went back to the GP when I moved to Watford with my husband, when I got a job in a school in Watford. And my health started slowly declining. And I went there about my periods because, again, I was dreading my period each month. I had big clots. I had to come off the pill because I don't know why I went off the pill actually. I don't know, but I wasn't taking it. And actually, yes, I do know why. I've got a phobia of taking tablets, which is funny considering how many tablets I'm on, because I did something very stupid when I was a teenager, and ever since then I really don't like taking tablets. They get stuck in my throat. That's a story for another video. Anyway, and I said, oh, I have really heavy periods. I have to sleep on the toilet at night when it's that time of the month. And I do. Well, I did have to sleep on the toilet when it was that time of the month. I had really terrible heavy periods. Anyway. And they said, oh, well, you know, this is just something that happens to women sometimes. You know, you need to... So I said, no. Oh, all right then, I suppose I've lived for it. But my husband wasn't having any of it. And he said, no, this isn't normal. You know, what can my wife do? So, the year before lockdown, about a year before lockdown, I went to a I finally got referred to a gynecologist, and I had a scan done, and they said, oh, do you know what's wrong with you? And I said, oh, I think I might have endometriosis. And they were like, no, you don't have that. You do have polycystic ovaries, and you don't have endometriosis. But we found a fibroid tumour in your womb. We hear the word tumour and you start panicking. I've never heard of it before. So I said, oh, what should I do? And they said, well, you know, it's too big to have the laser treatment to remove it. You need to have it surgically removed. So I did. I went in July and had my fibroid tumour removed. And when I came out of surgery, my husband went to ask the nurse, how big was my wife's tumour? And they said it was £12. I had a £12 tumour that I'd been carrying around for God knows how long in my... Thank God it wasn't cancerous. So anyway, they said, this will improve your life so much. And I thought, oh, Oh, hallelujah. The sores are going to go. No, 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 no. The sores only got worse. And what happened was, one day I noticed that I had an abscess on my bum cheek. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't go to work. So I went to the GP and they said, oh, it's probably from your sanitary pad. It's rocketed up. I said, what? Right up on the top of, by my back? Like by my crack? Excuse me, I did say it was going to be. And they said, oh. I said, no sanitary product goes right up there, love. So I went out and I was feeling really angry and disappointed. And then my best friend from work said, ring 1111 and they'll get you an appointment. So I did. I rang 111. I phoned my boss, head teacher, because as I said, I worked in a school, and said, look, I'm really sorry, but I won't be coming in. I've got to sort this out. And he was like, no, you do need to sort this out. Don't you worry. So the 111 managed to get me an appointment at urgent care in Hemel Hempstead. And I didn't have to wait long. I saw this lovely old doctor and she said, oh, let's have a look at this sore then. And so obviously, you know, it's quite vulnerable when you've got sores where I have them. You have to drop your whatsits off any given moment. And she said, oh, I said, oh, I know what you're going to say. It's an allergic reaction to sanitary products. And she goes, no, who told you that? That's a load of old cobblers. That's not an allergic reaction. So she said that you have a condition called Hidradenitis Suppurativa, and I need to go to the GP straight away, make an appointment. If they don't see me, take a pillow, but I must see a GP. So I did what she invited. I had never heard of this condition. My husband never heard of it. No one in our families had ever heard of it. And went to the GP. They gave me some antibiotics because it was infected. So I've just realised I've coloured in the grass blue. You know what? I can save this with these pens. Excuse me. That's because I'm so busy talking. Anyway. So basically, I went to see after the antibiotics, I went back and I asked to be referred to a dermatologist. And they did. And I went to St Albans Hospital. No, I didn't. I went to Watford General. And I saw a lovely lady. Dr. Bosie. Isn't it funny how you can always sort of remember doctors and GPs that help you? And she put me back on the contraceptive pill. And she gave me some hippie scrub to wash in. She said that Hidradenitis Suppurativa is an autoimmune condition. So it is where healthy cells attack other healthy cells, and it's a lifelong condition, so it can't be cured. So back then I was stage 2, and then lockdown happened and I had my appointment was cancelled and they discharged me, and I had to go back to the GP to get re-referred, and obviously you couldn't go back. And my skin started getting worse and worse, and it was so hot. So Hidradenitis Suppurativa affects the sweat glands in your hair follicles. So you can get Hidradenitis Suppurativa in anywhere. Let's try and fix this grass. In anywhere that hair grows. So You can get it on your scalp, which is rare. Get it on your face. You can get it in obviously your private areas, your bottom, your legs, your arms, anywhere hair grows basically, and that you have sweat glands. So as I said, I was a teacher. I worked in early years. I think I saved that pretty well. And after one day I woke up with a massive hole, crater, a volcanic crater it looked like, on the top of my pubic bone. It was red raw and it was and it, oh, I'm going to be honest, it stank of infection, and I couldn't go to work. And I felt so bad about not being able to go into work to help these poor children whose parents were nurses or they had special needs, because I'm a special educational needs teacher in early years, so my speciality was autism. Anyway, I'm digressing, but I couldn't go in purely because of the smell. I couldn't go in. So I phoned up the GP and they were like, oh, we'll just send you antibiotics via the post, you know, we can't see you, it's not an emergency. So then it got worse and worse, and in the end my husband walked out and I walked down, and they were like, no, we can't see you. My husband's like, smell her nicely. He wasn't being nasty, my husband, I promise you. So in the end they saw me and they were like, oh yeah, this is pretty bad, it's really badly infected. So when lockdowns were lifted, they managed to get me an emergency appointment with another dermatologist at Watford General, who I loved. Her name was Dr. Victoria Brown. And she saw me and she went, oh, you're stage 3 now. So we went on to different medication. I'm not going to say antibiotics because I don't think all of them were antibiotics. So I had like doxycycline, linocycline, other little bits and pieces, and basically for the past 2 years since I saw her, nothing worked. In fact, things got worse and my quality of life got worse. Like, I was really struggling at work. I couldn't run after children anymore. Like, mentally I was there, and it really, like, if you've ever worked in early years, it's non-stop. So you just sort of like, you're always on the go. And I was one of those irritating teachers, probably for other people, because you were meant to start by 8:30, finish at 3:30. My shift was, but I was there at 7 AM every morning, finish at 7 PM. My life like revolved around it, probably a bit sad, but I couldn't do it anymore. And the last GP appointment, the last dermatologist appointment I had, she said, oh, do you know you got a pilodonial cyst? And I was like, no, that was always diagnosed as hemorrhoids. And she was like, nonsense, this isn't hemorrhoids, this is a cyst. So she said, you need to have this surgically removed, it's really like bad. And I went to see the surgeon and he said, yes, you need to have this surgically removed, but you're going to have to give up work because it's a long recovery. And I was like, well, what the hell, what kind of surgery is this? So I handed my notice in, which was the hardest thing I've ever done, because it was probably one of my favourite jobs. Like, just, I loved it. So, and I went to have my surgery, and I wasn't impressed with the aftercare by this surgeon. I had no idea that I had to go daily for dressing changes. So the wound he did at the top of my backside was 14 centimetres deep. So that's how big this abscess was that had been left since I was 13 years old, and I was in my late 20s. And no, sorry, early 30s. And it's really hard for me to talk about even now. I had to go to A&E to have the first time to have it changed. I bled all over my mum and dad's couch because I didn't know I had to have it changed. And I had to wait 3-4 hours at A&E for this bandage to change. It was so painful. It felt like you're being stuffed, like a teddy bear being stuffed. So I had that, and then I just sort of had, and then I had to go to the GP every day to have a dressing changed as well. And the nurses at my old GP was so amazing. So even to this day, I have to go to the GP every day. 5 years later, the wound is never healed. I have to go every day. I am stage 3 Hidradenitis Suppurativa. It's the worst you can get stage-wise. I have my pubic area, my genitals, like just to say, my backside is covered in abscesses. And I can't work again in the profession that I was trained in. It ripped my career away from me. I am now on biogenetics medication, which lowers my immune system, so I can get sick really easily compared to others. For the past year, I haven't gone a day without a new sore coming up. And I had an MRI recently, and I have 2 sacs of infection that I need to have surgically removed again. So now PezzyWezziesPrezzies is my full-time job, which I love. It's been my saviour, because otherwise I don't think mentally I would be all here. Like, just making and creating is just something that keeps me so grounded. So, you know, while watching Bridgerton and Poldark on repeat, I can create something. So now I'm sort of just, yeah, that's my story really. It's really debilitating. It's really tough actually, you know, it's not easy. So yeah, that's my story of my health, and I'm waiting to hear back. I'm under the care of guys in St Thomas's in London who make sure that I'm well stocked up on not biogenetics, the Humira I call it. It's got a special adalimumab or something. They look after all my care, waiting to hear about if I need surgery, which I probably will do to remove this. My body's fighting 2 serious infections at the moment, forms of E. coli, which isn't, at the moment I'm on 36 antibiotics, which to fight this infection. But can I just reassure you, if you're thinking about anything, it doesn't affect my work at all. I've never not completed an order or anything because of it. I do get tired more, but I like push through it. So yeah, that's sort of my life really. And there's my lovely colouring by Printsbymilly. I'll leave her YouTube page up for you. I got this because I'm a member of her Patreon page. Her lovely little ducky, and I'm gonna actually pop this on one of my metal doors. Let me see if I can move it up so you can see. I'm gonna put it, oh hang on, on that door. Let's go. We pick it up. That one. There we go. Oh, it's a bit out of focus. Oh, there we go. I promise you one day I will get a proper video editor, but give me just a little bit of leeway and grace and time, please. I will. I'll do some tutorials on it and some Canva tutorials as well. I'll do some. Thank you for watching. I will see you hopefully next week. I will do next week a video of what I've made during the week. If there's any videos that you want, let me know. I'm not an illustrator, you know, just anything, even if it's just colouring, or if you've got a colouring page that you want me to colour in while I talk to you, let me know. And until then, I'll see you next week.